Welcome back to Liverpool 12 Man Show. I had to take yesterday off, but I am back and with Lee, and we are ready to enjoy a little bit of your conversation. Hopefully, you'll enjoy some of ours. And oh my goodness, a bit's happened since we've been on the airwaves. Um, but we're going to do a little bit of a Reds analysis. We'll definitely do some tactical breakdowns, and also, give you like a little bit of a red supportive perspective of what's going on in the league as some teams start to wobble and some teams start to shape, and the likes of what we are looking at for our own top five slash top four race that we have in mind. So we're going to do in this episode is come across what is probably seen as a crossroad for some, and that is Liverpool's Champions League pathway is starting to take shape. Um, we have some transfer rumors that are flying high again, and those could be anywhere from Michael Olise to a Brazilian wonder kid that I am very excited to possibly be joining the club. It's starting to manifest. Hopefully, keep the fingers crossed. Some training ground updates that are revealing a squad fighting through injuries, obviously, but also starting to start to show a little bit of hope of getting around the corner, and even whispers. And I say whispers. I know I'm not trying to spark any people's or trigger anyone, but whispers around Trent Alexander-Arnold and a potential return in the narrative. We're going to leave it there. But what we're going to do now is go through the real question for tonight's show. Are we watching a rebuild in real time, or is this just survival mode until summer, Lee? Do you think that we're really rebuilding this team as we speak? Or is this like, let's just get through to the summer and then we'll handle it there? Because we didn't do anything in January other than buy a player for the summer. So
yes and no, because we've got to we have got to have this change in form now, this upturn, or we'll be left behind for the Champions League placings for next season. So we can't just like eke it out until the end of May and like keep our fingers crossed. We've got to do our part of the deal now, like if there is a deal to be made. And we're also looking at a couple of teams, well, especially maybe mainly Chelsea at this point because they're closer to us, dropping some points. But I think Chelsea have got a tough schedule coming up. So as long as we win our games, we could be in position to do that. Whether I think this is like the start of sort of new for like Arne, turning over a new leaf and that, I don't know. But, for now, he's our manager. So, like, I have to back him and hope that what he's got planned is enough to deliver us, the wins to have us in contention.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, make no mistake, Arne Slot's Liverpool. He's got Liverpool entering the most defining stretch in the season. Okay, I got Norma saying his greatest ever. Yeah, that's did you see that? By the way, they're doing greatest ever Liverpool, something like that, where you're able to vote.
Yeah,
that's cool. Some great names there. Some really great names. No worries, Norm. No worries. I did see that. I don't know if I have the graphic anymore handy, or you know what, I might. I can show you what the graphic looks like. Let me see if I can find the graphic for us. But I did see that. And it was very intriguing to see who's going to be on this list of Liverpool greats. Let me see if I have it. Maybe not. I thought because it was a cool little very cool graphic that they used, and it's got like it's like a it's got like all the pictures of all the, how they make like you can make a big picture out of little pictures. It looks like a mosaic, I think is what they call it. Looks similar to that. Don't see it on here. But if I come across it, I'll bring it up so everyone can see what we're talking about, or what Norm is talking about. Big up to DW. Big up to Norm, like I said earlier. Big up to all those that are joining us. Some big things, some big news possibly for the channel. Hopefully it'll be happening, be finalizing them possibly this weekend. We'll see if we can make it all happen. I had a meeting with my supporter club or a member of the board of my supporter club last night, and I've already talked to the owners of the pub where we actually frequent, or where our supporter club is based. So we might be doing something pretty cool. That's going to be an initiative that is not only just for Phoenix, but possibly for the U.S. So, and hopefully even beyond. So we're trying to make it all work out. We're going to see if we can make it happen. But I'll fill you guys in more as it develops. Lee, let's talk about these Olise links, and let's also talk about this Champions League pathway that is starting to emerge, especially with some of the teams yesterday solidifying their paths towards possibly making it to the next round. And the thing about it is that Liverpool are viewing Michael Olise as a potential heir to Mohamed Salah. And look, I'm not saying that my football manager game that I play for amusement is a staple of what Liverpool and the hierarchy are planning to do with our team. But let me just say this: Michael Olise is the first transfer I made in my summer transfer on the.
Yeah, I'm a big
game.
fan. I'm a big fan as well of the idea of him being the left-footed wide player to replace Mo. There's a couple of contenders, but there isn't lots. There isn't loads of left-footed wide players.
There's
I
not.
mean, he's at a good level, a high level here with Bayern, and obviously they're doing okay under Vincent Kompany.
Right.
If there's any way we could tempt him, that would be brilliant. He is a great player, and as we know, he's played Premier League football before.
Yeah.
He's got all the ingredients, all the right ingredients to be able to do that job. I think because I mean, the large boots to fill, like Prime Mo with the amount of goals he got in that. But I think he could do it. He could do it, especially like in conjunction with the other players that he'd have around him.
Certainly so. Let's see if this will work. Yeah, it would be. Big up Cedric, by the way. Big up. Good to see you, Cedric. I just said hello to Eric, but I'll say in the chat, but I'll say it verbally. Hello to Eric as well. I think the thing about Olise is that he's not just a winger. That's the really important part that intrigued me with the player. It's interesting too, because in the team, again, I know people are like, oh, that's video games, whatever, yada yada. But I mean, like it's just an interpretation of what I would do in my own. If I had my own ability to run the club, and one of the unique things that I did with the club was, or at least my club was, put together something where you could have Olise and Salah possibly even play together, actually play on the same pitch. Whether that means moving Salah into a role more central, it might mean having Olise move into a central role possibly. But the point is, you definitely don't want to take the not take the opportunity to have these two players play together? I mean, like, would that be a priority for you, or do you see it as what a lot of the papers and the pundits are starting to call it, and that is Liverpool plan for him to be an Olise to be a replacement, not a supplement.
Yeah, it would have to be as a direct replacement. You wouldn't have him in the same squad, I would imagine.
Mm.
And yeah, he is one of the best names, without doubt. One of the most likely of contenders to replace Mo as that left-footed wise option. Because I'm assuming like football would continue in this vein, where you've got a left footer on the right footer on the left, one man through the centre.
Right.
So yeah, it's one of the best ones out there. I've
I'll tell you
always
this.
liked Bowen. The thing with Bowen is he's like quite up.
Oh,
Quite
I already
old,
said that. I already said that earlier.
yeah,
I was
quite
trying to get
old
him to
now,
remember that.
but he's still got a few seasons in him, and that would be I mean, don't know how much West Ham have won for him, but it wouldn't be as much.
If they go down, if West Ham goes down in relegation, then maybe that's a conversation. But I was going to also say this. I know that people often say, left footer, right side, right footer, left side. What would you ever think of if you were to possibly put a left footer on the left side, but just a left footer to try to rely on getting crosses, on being able to get passes into the box for our strikers? It tends to be, and this is my perception, is that it tends to be when you have a player that is a left-footed player and they're on the right side, it's the reason why you have that setup is so that you could have a player that can shoot. That's going to drive in from the right side, drive in left, and shoot his left foot. But if you're relying on wingers for what they traditionally were used for, and that is to get crosses and passing and assists to the strikers, would you ever be down? Would that change your mind? Maybe Lee, maybe not.
We definitely we're going to need a replacement at some point, and whether it's the summer or not, I'm not quite sure. But it's another position that needs sorting on the pitch, because it's about that time, isn't it? Really, like with Mo, we've still got him for now, like, but. And then there's also a bit of a question over Cody. Some people are not that convinced about his future on the left. That remains to be seen whether Slot or Slot's possible successor would feel the same way. But I know it is strange that after all the money and all the signings we made last summer, we still need a load more. Because we need a few centre backs, possibly 3, at minimum 3 if Karate leaves. And then we need a DM, don't we? We need a DM that he will pick and play, without hesitation. But I mean, we could have a new man in charge, couldn't we? Like, you'll fancy a different setup. Xabi's one at Leverkusen was interesting. I don't like 3 at the back, personally, not since we've done it in the 90s, but the way he did it at Leverkusen was quite interesting. One, it like the way he set his midfield up and his attack, and obviously Florian Wirtz was a big part of that, wasn't he?
And that's the whole point of what I was trying to get. Like, Olise is a tempo controller. He's a ball dominant creator, thrives in tight spaces. We all know that he can create. It definitely sounds like a certain different type of evolution to the role, because he's not a high volume goal scorer like Mohamed Salah is, but he does score goals. But he is more of a assist provider, and I think that that's what this team needs is providers that are going to look to distribute the ball to our strikers as opposed to look to score themselves. I think that sometimes if you if we were to focus more on our strikers, we would possibly see a better emergence of goal production from our team. But one thing that also I can say is Bayern Munich isn't going to give up Olise cheap. Now, apparently, they're trying to lock him down with a new contract. They're trying to also pin on him a €100 million valuation. Now, I don't think that prices him out of the ball game for us, by the way. I think what it does is it makes us it doesn't price us out of the ball game in that it makes us more prevalent to possibly go for a player, considering that's what, like 80 some odd million, right?
Mm-hmm.
80 million pounds. I don't think that that's too much for a outright one of the best possible, one of the best right wings in the game. There are some other names that I would love to see possibly join the club, but I don't think are possible, by the way, too. And then there's also players on the left side. I don't know if we want to get into. Would you, on the left side, before I even continue on, because I'm about to go into this Champions League thing, but before I move, you brought up Cody Gakpo, for instance, and there are some that are talking about trying to bring in another player to possibly replace Cody on the left side. I don't know about you, but I have been emphasizing the fact that I don't think that's the direction this team needs to go. I think that knowing how we have to spend our money, we have to recognize the fact that we're not going to be able to probably have the same expenditures that we did last summer without having a lot of players leave. If we're going to have big names though be brought in, we're going to have to possibly have some of those, have some big name transfers on our end. That would mean a Mohamed Salah, or that would mean a Cody Gakpo, or or a McAllister. And those are names that some of us don't want to see go from the team, but it might be a necessary evil to bring about a player that better suits what direction we're going with the team. I've been emphasizing that.
Right, so did you put last
Yeah. I think Lee's talking to I think he's talking to his mom, actually. I don't think that is don't worry, I don't think that's Tracy. All right, people.
That would be mum. My mum's just brought me some casserole. I thought someone was putting letters through me letterbox, but it wasn't. It was me mum letting herself in.
Okay. What I was saying though is and big ups to your mom too, by the way. Big up, hope that she's well. But what I was saying is that I think that what our team should really focus on is doing what you just said, going for defense. Maybe getting if they do get at least and the opportunity's there, that's an opportunity to buy. Take it, absolutely take it, but don't overpay for Olise. Don't get into a place where you're bringing in a player that's going to possibly. I think eventually Rio does have the ability to grow into a player that you could utilize on that left wing. Don't be bringing in players that are going to take away his ability to play. Eventually you're going to have to free up playing time for this player to get involvement, or guess what? He's going to want to move on. So, I know it's not an easy situation to think about, but I honestly do think that if we were to go forward, I think the best move for us to do is to negotiate with Salah to see if he wants to stay at the team. If he doesn't want to stay at the team, to move him on, get a good payday from that. I think it could be a time to possibly move on from Cody while we are able to get probably prime value for the player. And especially since he's got multiple years left on his contract. Not saying it because I don't like Cody. Everyone knows that I value Cody as a player, but I also know that there are sometimes with football team you have to make tough decisions, and that could be one of them. And moving on from Cody could be something that we, by getting 60 million for Cody or 70 million for Cody, we could get a Bastoni or Schlotterbeck, And I'm not saying get a player and replace him for a player. I'm saying get a player for where we are in necessary need of a player. And I like, for instance, I would ask you, and I'll ask the chat too. What is the player? What player's position out there do you think is the most important for us to get? Being DM, center half, striker, right wing, left wing.
Possibly
What is
the
the
DM.
number one priority on your list? The DM.
Well, we badly need the centre backs. That pretty much goes without saying. But the DM is important, I think. Whether that's from the point of view that he comes in and starts, or that he's just in the squad and he gives us an option. But it needs to happen, doesn't it?
Yeah, it definitely needs to happen. I wouldn't mind seeing us be able to, because I don't want to see. It's not that I don't. Everyone knows I love Gravenberch as a DM. I think sometimes we undervalue or underappreciate him as a DM. But guess what? Gravenberch plays way too many minutes, and I would like to see something that we could have some type of rotation for the player and not have a considerable, downturn in production from that role. And considering our coach doesn't like to utilize Endo as an option at that DM, like he sooner plays him in roles that aren't his traditional roles before playing him in his traditional role. I think we have to find a DM. Simple as. Maybe utilize it so we can move Maka out of that DM role and move him further up the pitch. But that's just me. I guess I am starting to waver and weave and bob and weave through some of our topics. DM is Norm's choice. DM is Lee's choice. I'm center half guy. I want us to go for a center half first. And what I mean by center half is either we signed a deal with Konate and finalize that deal, or we decide to move on, bring in another center half that is going to be a high profile center half to play along Roger Van Dijk and eventually work in Jaquette and Leone as players that will eventually learn from the masters, basically. Yeah, everyone seems to be saying the DM. Everyone says, Retro says, why a DM for him is because he believes it would affect our other midfielders in a positive way. You know what I heard, and it was something that I was I think we were talking about it on this channel actually. It was JK that brought it up, but he was referring to the fact of how important a DM is for a center half, and I agree with that. You know how much easier Fabinho made Virgil van Dijk's job for us. Having the Fabinho at the DM role was immense, absolutely immense. Defensive-minded DM, a destroyer for the more so. And it's a shame that there's not many of those players left in that are available at that level really in the game. But agree with, he's been really good the last few days. Talking about Edu, yes. Yeah, I want to see. I want to see Konate. I'm. Are you back on board with re-signing Ibu, or are you still in that camp of saying you're prepared to just move on?
If his form can keep improving and stay where it is, then yeah. But if it doesn't and it drops off again, then I probably won't feel as sad if he decides to decline our final offer. But we'll have to wait and see on this one. I mean, we ain't got that many months left, have we, until like he's out of contract? No. Really, it's only fall, like, isn't it? And it's mid to late May, June, and June really, but it's only like 4 months, isn't it? And he's got to agree a contract.
Well, it should be an interesting ride. Should be definitely an interesting ride. I think another interesting ride is the ride that's starting to shape up in Europe. We were fortunate in that we kept our form. Our form in Champions League didn't mirror our form in the Premier League, so we avoided the Champions League playoffs. And avoiding the Champions League playoffs may quietly be one of the most important moments of the season. I'll go as far as to say. I don't know if you agree with that or not, but why I say that is because with injuries mounting and squad depth stretched, and having those free weeks and having the ability to have some space in between games is making a real difference. We're seeing Arsenal, we're seeing these other teams collapse under the weight of having to play so many games. We uniquely don't have to play as many. Therefore, we have to utilize the time to recuperate. Our potential opponents are Galatasaray, Juventus, and Club Brugge, or maybe even Atletico Madrid. And each bring some very different tactical challenges. We can all agree that there are possibly teams that we prefer to see, but we can all say that Galatasaray, I was not expecting the result that they got, by the way, against Juventus. 5-2, I think it was.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
They started all right, Juventus, but then just dropped off horrifically. And to be honest, like, didn't even really want to play them. Don't like them because of 1985, and I never will. So it was better that we play Galatasaray, which I'm assuming it'll work out that way. I can't see them overturning a 3-goal deficit and sure in. But I'd rather that tag than the Atletico Benfica one, whatever it is. Who is it Atletico were playing?
Atletico's playing Club Brugge.
Club Brugge, sorry, yeah. I'd rather that than the Atletico Club Brugge, because that will probably be Atletico, and they're stronger.
It is right now. Atletico, yeah. Atletico is leading in that one as well. They ended up winning.
Yeah, the strength of Gala and Juventus, like, it's a lot less than Atletico. So I'll be pleased if Spurs took that one. And we took the winner out of Gala and Juve. It'd be a return to Istanbul after that shameful penalty. We were rubbish anyway in Istanbul, but that penalty on Dom, I mean, what was that? The way the fella went down was pathetic.
Oh, it was horrible call. Horrible call.
Wasn't it? Wasn't it? It was ludicrous, mate. Ludicrous. But
you know what? I stand corrected. Club Brugge drew against Atletico Madrid. Oh my goodness! Wow.
Alvarez got a pen early on past Mignolet. And then whoever the bloke was who got Bruges equaliser, it was dead good finish. And like, Yeah, it was. They got called offside, but then they looked at it like, and he was easily on and finished it sweetly.
Tresoldi or something like that. Tresoldi or something.
Can't remember, to be honest. Can't remember his name. The bloke, but it was a nice finish. Well, he got 2. I think it was 2-2, was it? Yeah. But the
Surprising.
one
Yeah,
that
they
was
got I mean, they 2-2. They had an own goal in that game, and then they scored at the very end.
yeah,
I think Club Brugge is a good team, by the way.
Didn't he? Joel O'Donnell. It was hard luck on him, mate. It weren't his fault. He just put his leg out like, and it ended up in the net. But he had to react because their man was lurking. You know what I mean? Ready. But obviously we played Bruges, didn't we, in 78? Like, my stepdad was there. He was right behind the goal where Kenny scored the winner at Wembley.
Right.
My stepdad. But it'd be a tall order for them to go to Spain and knock Madrid out from the position they're in. Stranger things have happened now.
I think also my screen might freeze only because if I go to another tab on my browser, it pauses all of my other tabs. So that's probably why it looks like I'm frozen. I happened to open up the Club Brugge tab so I could see what the score was. But now that I'm back. Yeah, 3-3. So that means that they will be going to Atletico Madrid with an opportunity to possibly move on in that series. I think still you gotta think that if Club Brugge was going to do something, they probably should have, falling behind that game early is too much. And it also is a lot to put on their shoulders that they are going to have to go to Madrid and get a result out there. That's going to be tough, but at least they're not out of it. I mean, I don't think it would have to be a monumental collapse for Galatasaray to go to Italy and lose 4-0 or some sort of score line like that, because that's what they're down in aggregate. So, oh man, which potential last 16 opponent worries you the most? Which one is the team that worries you the most? Not the one that you want to see, the one that you don't want to see. Which team out of 4 do you not want to see?
Atletico, Atletico Madrid.
Atletico, okay.
Yeah, and my favourite would be to get Galatasaray, because I said I don't want Juventus. Even though we beat Juventus easily, it would be funny from that point of view. Remember that rubbish when they came to Anfield that time and turned their backs, dickheads? Well, they used to running towards the back to get away after they kick off, aren't they? So that's probably why they turned their backs. They were going to run off. Like...
Yeah.
in the grand Italian fashion of the Second World War.
Levis gets at PSG. That's funny. I think that's what Arne is saying, not necessarily that wasn't part of the question, but I get what your point is. Red Armchair Supporter said Atletico. Pick up bonkers, by the way. That's a very intellectual way of putting it. Norm says the team that worries him the most is Liverpool. He says he worries which one turns up at our best. He doesn't fear any of the teams, but it's a question of what team Liverpool is going to field in the sense of the mentality that goes onto the pitch. I agree with that. That's a good point. That's a good point. I'm not really. I know these words could come back to bite me, but Atletico Madrid isn't necessarily a team that I would say that I care one way or another if I end up seeing in the next round, simply because I don't think that they are as good as they used to be be honest with you.
No, but the stiffest opposition in them four by a country mile, I would say. And even though we managed to overcome them at Anfield, it'll be a tough two-legger. It was great
It would
when we
be.
went there and won in the group stages a couple of years ago. Didn't Mo score? I think Mo scored the winner. It was like 3-2 or some shit. Remember we
The
went
thing,
there and lost 1-0 and it was that dead spawny goal where like I think the fella headed it down and hit someone on the side and just fell for, I think it was Kike, one of them guys, like got it 1-0. It was a dead unlucky win now, like really. It was a dead tight game now. It's not a ground you want to go into, like wanting a
no, it's
result.
not.
Anyway.
It's not. I'm just saying, you know what? The one thing that worries me about Atletico Madrid is their physicality. The way their coach, you know, is very, very strict on making it a difficult game for whoever they play. And getting out of a fixture with them without any injuries is my biggest concern. That would be the only concern I would have against them.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna give you guys a little training ground inside look, and the training ahead of Nottingham Forest wasn't just about preparation; it was about survival, like we spoke on earlier. Because we have no Jeremy Frimpong again. Long-term absentees continue to stack up, and Liverpool, some could say, are walking a tightrope at right back, considering that it's almost like a curse. It's the curse of 66 is what I'm calling it. Joe Gomez training fully could be one of the most underrated boosts heading into this weekend. Curtis Jones has filled in admirably, to be honest. But that role drains the midfield balance, obviously. I personally don't want to see Curtis Jones have to be playing right back for us again. But not saying it because he played poorly or something in his last go at it, but just saying more so. I just think he's more valuable to us in the midfield. So that's just my take.
Did it go well? Is outing it right back, didn't it? I mean, remember the
Yeah,
previous time we played him twice. The first time was okay. The second time we got exposed badly at
yeah. The
Fulham.
second time was not good. Yeah,
Yeah, but it worked against Brighton. Okay.
it's what the concern about is that like they're all footballers, but I mean like the concern with me when you play a midfielder like a Szoboszlai or Curtis Jones in that role is because the same, for instance, that the time that Szoboszlai held the player on side and they scored the goal against us, right? I think it was 2 games ago. It wasn't a Brighton game, the game before that. And why I bring that up is because Szoboszlai's not used to holding a back line. He doesn't have to worry about, keeping in line with his other defenders to make that offensive trap. And that's why sometimes it can get frustrating because Curtis Jones is in that same ballpark. He's got his eyes, forward. He's like either sometimes ball watching or maybe like some or the likes, but it's just not a natural attribute, to you. Anyhow, I hoping that we can see Mohamed Salah continue to grow with his smile, his effervescent smile. It was good to see him score. It was good to see the reaction of the cop, by the way, the way they responded to him scoring. I mean, we could see it against Brighton. The body language shifted when he scored that goal. The moment that I saw him take on that defender and beat him to the ball, all of a sudden, all that the legs are gone. He doesn't have his pace anymore. All of a sudden, that started to dissipate. I am not saying that Mohamed Salah doesn't have the legs. I'm just saying at times you can see he doesn't have the confidence to take on players. But hopefully, with these kinds of performances, hopefully that confidence rises. If we're going to make a push in Champions League qualification, we need the vision of Salah on the right side every week. And then you have youngsters like Rio and Trey, who were caught training on the pitch, obviously with the first team. Are you with me in saying that you'd like to see Rio and Trey get a little bit more involvement, or is this too crucial of a moment in our schedule that giving them those opportunities is too risky for you?
Possibly. The
Possibly.
right back thing and well, the right back thing interests me, whether he would go with Gomez or continue with like a midfielder there.
Hmm.
Thing with Joe is he's the only cover we've got for the other two. But I mean, we did bring him in, didn't we, at right back, and then moved him to centre back that time when he last got injured. But he's the most natural fit, isn't he, for right back with Endo's injury?
Hmm.
John fits there brilliantly, like, and he's having such a good season in all the positions he's played. But
Hmm.
really, we want him in midfield, don't we? You want your best player of the season in midfield where he's meant to
You do.
be. Yeah.
You do.
And I understood why he played Curtis there and not Dom. I didn't expect it, but I understood. So the question is now, will he put Joe there? Joe does give you a bit more security, like, doesn't he?
Hmm.
At right back than the other options. Ramsey's like not going to feature, is he? Him and Trey only come on for a few minutes, didn't he?
Hmm.
It was great to see Ramsey though after all this time. I've forgotten what he looked like properly. Sort of ghost of a memory sort of thing, an imprint. It's like, oh, there he
Right.
is. Him, yeah. It was so long ago, wasn't it, when we bought him? And he was like prospective first team player for the future. And then all of a sudden he wasn't. And he returns after what, 7 years or something ridiculous.
It was. I don't know if it's 7 years, but it's been quite some time.
Must have been about 2019 when we bought him. When he
Yeah.
like, because he got like a big write up on that, didn't he? But it's been horrible for the lad. I mean, it's been
It's
terrible for
primarily
him.
been because of, and that's the thing. That's why, like, sometimes I hear people's perspectives and narratives and the angles and takes they take on the player. Look, I don't think that Ramsey isn't talented. I think Ramsey is talented. He's talented enough to be on a Liverpool team. Period. To touch the pitch of Anfield shows that you have talent alone. Um, you know, um, I would even go as far as to say that sometimes when I hear the takes of people saying, "Oh, well, he's not good enough, he's not this, and he's not that," I'm like, well, if he's not good enough, find another team for him to move on to and keep it moving. But there has to be someone in our camps or somewhere in the brain trust that believe that there might be something worthwhile there if he stayed at the team for as long as he has. Because the loans that he's been on haven't been loan option to buy loans or obligation to buy loans. They've just been go out, continue to develop. Hopefully, you can stay healthy, and maybe we can bring you back to possibly, get you back into that run for our club with our team. I think it's a really shallow and short minded take when you hear people say those things. I don't know. That's just my personal take. Is that like it's obvious that the player is decent enough to have been with the club. Now, whether he continues with the club, that's we'll find out. Teams teams might make evaluation. Teams make evaluations on players all the time. But just as you said, I don't know if it's been 7 years, but it's been some time. Let's say it's been 5 years. 5 years at Liverpool, being on Liverpool roster or being a Liverpool player, whether on the team with the team or on loan, still means that there is some possible process for you to eventually be in line to make a move to another team or at least be a part of this team. So I don't know if I verbalized that as poetically as I wanted to, but it is what it is. All right. Well, the other thing I wanted to get into is Something about this season, and I know some people are calling it a turning point. Some people are saying that we've turned the corner. Are you one of those people, by the way? I'm not. I'm just asking. Are you someone that thinks that Liverpool have turned the corner?
Not yet, no. Once bitten, twice shy with that. Prophesized a few too many times that we're going to turn the corner, but we have to now, as we've been saying. It has to happen now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was gonna say because our season has certainly went from rivals saying, "Oh, are we going to get relegated?" which is absolutely ridiculous. But going through a pretty bad losing streak, losing spell. In that autumn stretch was brutal. 9 losses and 12 was horrible. The side has all of a sudden become a difficult team to beat. I'm not saying that we're a difficult team. We're a difficult team to beat. I'm not saying that we are a good team at winning just yet. And that's the last portion of the equation that we have to figure out. Only 2 defeats in 9 games is what we're looking at. I know it's not flashy. I know that some people are going to note that that's not all wins. It's not like 7 wins and 2 defeats. But the fascinating part is that it is a slow start issue. And we've had some slow starts in some games. And then we've had some decent rebounds. And if not, we've had some just decent performances. Because only 1 goal scored inside the opening 30 minutes since September. There's been only 1 goal. Let me repeat that. There's been only 1 goal scored inside the opening 30 minutes since September. That tells you something. It is something that maybe this coach is starting to prioritize control over chaos, or he's starting to look at it as saying, let's be sure to define our approach and not allow for this team our opposition to get get the bull by the reins, I guess, or something like that, the horse by the reins. But 1 goal in the opening 30 minutes says something. And I agree. We were
we don't
bad.
start enough games well, do we?
But that's the thing about it. It's almost like it's like a bend not break thing. We still have to get over the fact that I get that we're not bad. We're not letting goals. We're not getting early goals scored on us. That's fantastic. It doesn't mean that we are creating opportunities or that we are like pushing the narrative on the pitch. That's the difference. And it's like, do you see it as that? And I'll ask Norm this because he's right. In the Brighton game, for instance, we were poor in that first half. There's been other games we've been poor in the first half and had to, transition in that second half or rally in that second half to really get a performance out of ourselves. Do you look at our games as being as Arnie's tactics is we're trying to suffocate games? You know what I mean? We're trying to basically smother a team with our control, and then eventually, and possibly go in for an opportunity that way.
We just need to start games better. Whatever we do with what's left of the season, because obviously we've got to keep on the heels of these teams now, and flip-flopping around with our form won't do. We'll end up losing out, and nobody wants to end up in the Europa League, do they, or even worse than that. It'd just be a massive dampener before next season even begins. I'd like to think we could have a good season next season, but I'd like that to be in the Champions League. There is that train of thought that, if we're not in it, we can concentrate on the league. But, that's only like looking at sort of silver lining, like, and sort of thing. It's not what you don't really want to be doing that, do you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Norm's saying by missing that first half hour of not playing, we are making games harder for ourselves, especially at home, because teams always, through history, have wanted to stop us from having momentum early. And I agree with that point too, by the way. I think a lot of teams have looked at it as, look, let's try to punch them in the mouth early. We're probably not going to be able to keep up going toe to toe in line for them to have the control of the game that they normally, emphasize to have. If that's the case, let's try to get this early goal and then force them to move away from their mindset. So that's probably that's probably most of all what I think is going to be what we're going to see, because like the upcoming fixtures is massive. Bottom 7 teams before the international break. We have 6 away trips on the docket. Every remaining home match against are the London sides that we're going to face up against. This is possibly the most important stretch that we have. And if Liverpool don't build momentum now, the May run against top table rivals like Chelsea, Manchester United, that's going to become a nightmare. And that's a real question. Are these next 5 league games essentially Liverpool's Champions League? Do you think that this is make or break for our Champions League?
Next game.
These next 5 games.
Next 5 games, definitely. Chelsea have got some tough games coming up, and United are that extra couple of points ahead of Chelsea and ahead of us. So they're the most likely one at the moment, like that we can be in opposition with for 5th place. And we see what happens with United, see how long their form lasts. It wouldn't surprise me if it did last for a while longer, though, United's form. I was really impressed by the way they beat Arsenal and City back to back. That's obviously what spurred them on, like, and it was very impressive from them, I have to say. That Carrick done well there. It's interesting now to see like how close the title race is. Didn't think it'd be this tight like a few weeks ago, a couple of months ago, a month ago. Closed up on Arsenal, and that win against us at Anfield, which is it's the first time they bloody won, because I don't count that one where Phillips and Reece Williams were centre halves and we got beat. Apart from that, they just don't win at Anfield, mate. So for them to win here has really spurred them on it, like. Arsenal are having a right wobble, aren't they?
They are.
It's a little bit of a tightrope, and if you wobble too much, you will fall, and you don't want to fall.
They are. They're having a little bit of a wobble at the wrong time. Very wrong time. It's just something else. Who would have thought it? 2019, 2020 is when Arteta took over Arsenal. 2019. It's been 6 years.
How long ago? Yeah, well, it's ages, isn't it?
Yeah, 6 years.
It's been there a long time.
Yep.
So he's like one of the longest serving managers in the Prem, probably. I would imagine, like.
Yeah.
Pep longer, but the only one I can think of. maybe a couple of others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, keep that as our moment of Zen here.
Oh no,
What
I can't
else?
be having Claire Bolden in the summer. No, can't be having Claire Bolden in the summer. Mate, I seen him. We look good against Karabag, like in Azerbaijan there, but I can't be having him. Hey, I watched I watched Man United against Juventus from 1984, the Cup Winners' Cup semi-final. When we did the treble in the European Cup League and League Cup, they got to the semi-final of the Cup Winners' Cup, and I was looking for big runs, long ladder, but like it didn't show you them on the bench. All it shows you was the game. United, right? This was in the second game, and the Donegal's equaliser quite late. I'm going through, and then Juventus got this dead spawny winner. Like their player hit it, and no hope shot, and it is a United player like on the arse and fell for Paolo Rossi, and he just buried it. It's dead funny. But big runs, long level was not on display on the bench. There was no sight of big run.
There is. All right, let me get into this transfer talk, little transfer roundup, summer build-up maybe, and then we'll get into the last topic before I bring you your moment of red zen. Look, Liverpool recruitment strategy right now feels like a calculated blend of elite ambition and long-term investment, and then some of it would say also maybe just also just a team that's taking advantage of opportunities. And I don't know if this is going to mean that yes, we're going forward with Arne Slot as our manager or not. And if we're trying to, create something for him to craft, or if we're trying to just at least put together a team in the sporting director's mind is a team worthy of wearing that badge. We spoke about Michael Olise. I know that's a big name. I know that we're talking about potential 35 million evaluation for the player as well. And then I also know that there is a player in Brazil that I'm very, very interested in. And that is Elias. Allan Elias.
Another Allan. Oh man,
Another
that
Allan.
last thing we had with Allan, the Allan, wherefore art thou Allan? But if we could get that'd be funny if we got one who actually came and it all like happened and that and come off.
Right.
We
Another
could go
Allan,
and
not
the
Alan
other
Fick.
Allan, his opinion on this Allan and how things have changed in the world of Brazilian Allans.
Well, Allan Elias situation is one that really tells the story for me. I think it's because we're talking about a potential 35 million euro transfer for the player. It's a deal that can be finalized within the next coming weeks, with negotiations reportedly focused on specific clauses. So once you get to that situation, the deal is pretty much done. They're just trying to work out the fine edges and figure out what it is to get the job completely completed. But why I'm bringing it up is because the reports out of Brazil suggest Liverpool are the front runners to land the Palmeiras youngster, and the plan appears to be structured around a future move after the World Cup. That alone shows patience. I know some obviously know that the fact is that would mean that he would, be rather than joining the team early, he'd be joining it after the World Cup, which is understandable. There's a chance that he could be a player that goes with this Brazilian team. That's how good the youngster is. He is certainly a very talented player. I think the primary feature of what it is that we spoke about Michael Olise, but this succession plan revolves around Mohamed Salah. Salah turns 34 this year. He's obviously contracted until 2027, but we all remember that Saudi Arabia is an option. And another Saudi offer is expected this summer. And this time around, there's a real feeling the conversation could be different. Thus, you bring in a Michael Olise, or you bring in an Allan Elias, who fits that model perfectly. He's a right winger, massive upside. You can check him out. Definitely look him up. Maybe you've heard of him already, but he is a 30 to 35 million euro player, and it's a calculated gamble, I think. And what I mean by calculated gamble is he's the type of dynamic profile Liverpool have been shifting towards and what we need. A player like a Rio in the sense of he's fast, he's interchangeable for attackers who can rotate positions rather than looking into one rigid spot on the pitch. Now, there is another name on the radar. That name is Yan Diomande. He continues to be heavily linked, and his rise has been rapid. 7 goals, 5 assists in 19 Bundesliga appearances. Just 19 years old. That's elite trajectory. He would be a very valuable player to add to our team, but also it would bring down the age profile of our team massively to have the young Brazilian and possibly even Yan Diamante, 2 players that I would love to see be brought into this club. And then there is the talk about Morgan Rogers. Now, I know some of you heard this link and probably got excited because Morgan Rogers is a good player. But that link is cooling very fast. And that's probably by design. And why I say that is because Liverpool look like we are profiling or prioritizing profiles that fit a new attacking identity. And what I mean by that is bringing in pace to our wings. And that's a fit that a new attacking identity needs for this club, and one that's probably going to depend less on one superstar and more on players that can be rotated in and the likes. Because you can't rely on a pace merchant all year and just continuously go to that well every time. I'm not looking to have a Gordon or something on our team or something along those lines.
I mean, we've got a job on our hands this summer. Last summer we did some good work, obviously making good additions to the squad, but it's only half done in it, the job in reality, half done at best. So we've got to complete it and be able to contend again, and to be able to contend, we need the right signings in the summer. It didn't take like a lot of imagination for them to target the players they targeted this summer. It's like, yeah, look at Isaac, you want him. TK, you want him. Wait, of course you want him. Kirkhouse, you want him. Frimpong, you want him. This summer, I mean, there are some like outstanding names to think of and that, but it could be like, you know, a list of many different players. And we've also got to consider who will be the manager in the summer. If Arne will still be the manager, like going on the assumption that he is, then hopefully he's got players in mind that would do the job he wants doing.
Can I say this, Lee? I don't want to. You want to have a coach, obviously, that can make the most with the players that you have. But this is an era where sporting directors primarily call the shots. They hire the coaches and fire the coaches. They bring in the talent that they want. the coach is rarely now a implemental cog in the in the whole process of forming teams. Not saying that they're not at all, but saying that they're not as influential as they used to be. Your Fergies or your Klopps or the likes. And as much as I can say, agreed, it does matter somewhat if Arnie is our coach next year as to what direction our team formationally takes on. But I just say get us good players. Get us good players, period. A good coach will make the most of them. They'll make the most of them. I mean, you got to consider we're trying to still finalize this deal with Szoboszlai. Apparently, we're in heavy negotiations with his camp, trying to extend his deal and put to rest that Real Madrid nonsense. I know McAllister and Gravenberch are all coming up on the same evaluation period where they're going to have to be looked at as well as to whether we're going to continue on with them or not. It is a big question, man. It's a big question. Good question. I'll tell you what's a big question too is
it is well remembered, armchair. That is me dad's mate who plumbed in my washing machine, Allan. But he's not into football.
Okay. All right. I was going to say there could be a return. I said that there could be a return of a certain TAA to Liverpool. Some might be like saying, no, that train's gone. Stop bringing it up and blah, blah, blah. But what I meant by that is Trent Alexander-Arnold potentially is facing Liverpool again. It could be facing Liverpool again in Europe. That's a team that we could see in a later round.
That's the thing with Trent. He's not getting picked, is he? I have to say, I don't get any satisfaction from him not getting much joy in Madrid. In some ways, it doesn't matter to me, but like I wouldn't get satisfaction from it being worse, say, than what it is. But he knew that when he took the gig. Everybody knows that when he moved to Real Madrid, you've got to do it. If you don't do it, you don't stay. You don't get to stay. But usually, as a career move, it's good because from there he should be able to get a good move. If I was him, I'd be loath to come back to England. I'd look to go to another league, maybe, or
No.
stay
Would you
there.
go? So you would be if you were Trent Alexander-Arnold's brother and you were his representative. And by the way, Trent Alexander-Arnold's brother is a pain in the neck. He's a fantastic, obviously a fantastic agent because he's getting his clients great deals and he's got his clients' interests best at heart, and that's what the agent's supposed to have. But he's already talking about possibly trying to put into the mind of the youngster Abe. He's a youngster that plays for our under 21s, very talented speedster. Talking about maybe he needs to move on to another team. Alexander-Arnold's brother is definitely from a fan perspective, he can be a frustrating guy. I think also, what was it? I think Trent Alexander-Arnold's other brother is doing the whole. He's not going to. So he's not going to cut his hair or something until we win 5 games. Who cares? I care less about that one. But the one thing I do care about is it will be interesting to see us have to take on Trent Alexander-Arnold in the next round of not this round, but like in the following round. Because if they beat if they move on, then they have an opportunity to eventually see us later on down the line. Trent and his brother, the former Liverpool fans. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Norm doesn't want him back. Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah. It's just maybe have moved on. Some people have moved on. I guess some of us have done the same. He's moved on, so can we. So can we. Lee, what was on anything on your mind? Anything in the news that you saw that piqued your interest?
What transfer wise or just football
Football wise,
wise?
or just in
Oh,
general?
I
You
am
want to talk
interested
about?
in the title race now. I know it's not us, but we will have like not a say in it because like we've played both teams twice. But it'll be interesting, won't it? Like, it'd be a laugh. It could present a laugh if it spectacularly falls apart for Lightbulb Man, for Edison himself. You know,
Mhm.
could be comedy value in that. Could be richly comical, like if it goes down the right way. Alternatively, if they win it, I'll say they deserve it and all that one. Like, but as for us, our thingy this season, why not try with the FA Cup and do as good as we can in the Champions League? Obviously, try to win it, go as far as we can. But you know, because like if our league form improves, like to be in good cup form, it generally goes hand in hand. You're in good league form at the time, more often than not. So if we get the two things combined and stop messing about, um, you know, if we stop taking 2 steps forward and then one back, we can take 2 steps forward and then at least another 1 or 2 forward rather than one back. That'll be a massive improvement and a massive help for us to
Right.
achieve our ultimate aims.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I will say this: I am not a Manchester City fan, and the least. I am even less of an Arsenal fan. But watching them bottle, and I do mean bottle, the opportunity against Wolves. I'll tell you this here. Let me bring this up. I think I have it saved. I have it here. Yes, this is what I want to show right here. I will say this, and this is why I think that, truthfully, this is why I think um, a lot of what you see with Arsenal and the way they play, some people are giving them props. They're saying how great they are and blah 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 and glazing them up. Um, I'm not that guy. I say that
Just point
because
out to Armchair that Tracy can't dance. She's got 2 left feet, as they say, and they're also a bit like clubbed and webbed. She's rubbish at dancing, mate. It's just like you don't want to see her on the dance floor. It's embarrassing.
there is something I did want to talk about too before we go too. And it was this. I'll talk about this first. I thought it was reprehensible to see a team that is in first place playing against a team that is in last place. To see Arsenal waste 4 minutes with Trossard's bull crap.
Are you the least bit surprised by this tomfoolery, this
I
this manufactured hullabaloo and ballyhoo? They're always at it, Arsenal. They're the kings of it, them and City, moaning and
they
moaning
tried
and
to
moaning.
waste they tried to waste 4 minutes of added time last night with injury in an attempt to hang on to a 2-1 lead, only to
Uh,
concede, only to concede in the very last minute of the game to what was now I think called an own goal because I think it
yeah,
hit the
yeah.
bar, bounced out, hit the player, and then bounced
Yeah,
back in.
Calafiori at the
Or no,
post, there's him
it hit
again
the
before
post.
he could
Exactly. That's how it
reposition
went.
his legs. I mean, the
Right.
first goal from Bueno was beautiful, wasn't it? Fully
Yeah.
deserving of somebody with the name Bueno, because it was as good as it gets, mate, with his left foot. That really set the cat among the pigeons. And then you see, light bulb man pacing up and down, didn't you? The touchline. That was dead funny.
I thought it was so reprehensible to see that happen, though. It was ridiculous that's where they're at. They have nothing they produce nothing really going forward offensively. They're all about set pieces. They're all about corner kicks. They cry when they get a little taste their own medicine when it comes to the corner kicks. You got Raya complaining about this and about that. And it's like, that's you. They're taking your tactics.
It reminds me a bit of Diego Costa. So look at Raya, whatever you say it. But they always get up to no good if they can, Arsenal, like with the moaning or time wasting or that. Like, it's part of their thing. It's part of their shtick, innit? It's their thing at times. So, like, it is quite funny when it doesn't happen. I haven't got any real antipathy towards them as a club in the way that I have with City. So you would assume that my natural inclination would be to want City to lose out because I hate Manchester City as a club. Whereas Arsenal, they're a minor irritants. They can be irritating at times, but no more than that. But on the other hand, they would be bloody unbearable if they won the league, wouldn't they?
They would be. They would be. They would be. Not the last thing. I have two more things I wanted to talk about. Then I'll bring up the red sin.
It's a salient point that Norm that Wolves under Edwards are improved, and our game away to them won't be, as easy as what it might have been like a couple of months ago. So we'll have to watch out for them. We'll have to watch out for Bueno. Keep a good eye on Bueno.
I don't know if I could show this clip or not. I wish I could. I'll save it for next time. I thought I'd save it for next time. I'll also tell you this, I think I can play this, just to show you what happened. This was pathetic, or I won't even show it. I have a clip. There was these two Arsenal fans, and they wore Wolves jerseys to get into the and they're in player box seats too. They're in really club box seats. They're nice seats. They wore Wolves jerseys, and then when Arsenal scored, they lifted up their jerseys and tapped the Arsenal badge and started reacting to the goal. Absolutely pathetic. Apparently they're getting banned for a year, by the way. I'll see if I can get these clips cleared for you. I'll try to show them tomorrow if I can. I did want to talk about did you hear the Mourinho comments where he basically said this? Jose Mourinho claims that referee Francois Texier had a little piece of paper with the name of players who weren't supposed to get yellow cards. He said, "There's nothing to explain. Everything is very obvious. I've got 1,400 matches under my belt. It's simple." He had a little piece of paper with Tavares, Tchouameni, Hussein written on it. If they get a yellow card, they can't play the next match. Someone told him they couldn't take a yellow.
Mate, I'm having it because Real are ripped. Real have ripped off. They're not a rip paying the ref, but the pressure. And Atletico have been off against them a bit. Look at last season when they knocked Atletico out, and Alvarez would have 2 touches on the pen, and that was the end of them. But before that, when they beat them in the final that time with Ronaldo, there was gripes, and they've been kinder to Real than Atletico. They are just kinder to them because they are the name they are. You know what I mean? In their eyes,
Here,
they are European football almost. Like, you know, that's why they hung on to that Super League crap for ages. Because funny that them and Barca get a greater share of the Spanish TV royalties than Liverpool or Man United or Man City or Chelsea do, or Arsenal.
they
You know
want
what I mean? They get a
they
much bigger
want
share. It's not enough for them, is it? Like, oh, damn, they want more, don't they? Like,
he went a step further and said, by taking a dig at UEFA, saying about their next match with Madrid, he said, "We'll see if it's not Anthony Taylor."
Hey, mate, I wouldn't be surprised. He's become quite wise, Jose. And like he'll speak up when he thinks something's a rip. I mean, he's managed them, don't forget. He's bloody managed them.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. Comments about Vinicius Jr. are tough to hear. That's a
Mate, I
sensitive
have to
situation.
say, his Madrid team was rubbish. He wasn't a good pick to try and get the best of Pep. As he did a little bit under him, but like not much. Like he was a flop, really, wasn't he? At Madrid, Mourinho. They were desperate, mate, to try and stop Pep, and didn't really work, did it? Like he had a little go at it, but not much.
Mm-hmm. Um, yes, I probably froze up. I know. Let me bring this over here. All right, let me see if I can play this video for you guys.
Remember that Del Bosque guy, Vicente Del Bosque, the manager? I was watching a match with him playing in it the other week, and he got sent off. I think it wasn't against an English team, and he got sent off. Might have been Derby County, Clough's Derby County in the European Cup after they won the league.
I don't know. I'll have to see. I'll have to see if I can. You'll have to see this. I'll show you at the end of the show, Lee. But the last thing I was going to bring up before I bring up your moment of Red Zen is this. There was a post by I'll make it a little larger here so you can see it. There was a post by Nick Waltemade, and he was basically, I think him and Ekitike have a true friendship, to be honest with you. They're just talking about their.
This is nice enough, yeah.
Yeah.
And he likes a bit of Lionel, does he? I'll
Yeah,
probably
a
go
little
for a
Lionel Richie
different
all night
song.
long.
If it was Lionel, like, and probably it will be the Commodores, but like, yeah, that's a good enough choice.
I'm surprised he didn't play Hello. Is it me you're looking for, right?
And no, because he's not been in the team as much lately, has he? That's a good one, that's well. Not been in the team as much lately. And I've seen some of their fans saying, yeah, he isn't that good, so we're not bothered. No, but there you go.
There you go. There you go. Hey, jumba.
Once, twice, 3 times the replacement.
There
For
you,
Alexander-Arnold.
there you go. There you go. I'm trying to think of like where's some good songs. Oh man, it's got me like tearing up here. I think some really good songs by him. I can't think of it. There was another one. I can't think of what it was, but there was another one where it was like, what was the other one? Not Dancing on the Ceiling. What was it? There's one where like he did some dancing, but it wasn't Dancing on the Ceiling. What was it? I can't remember. I'm sorry. He's got a lot of hits. Three times a striker. How about that? Once, twice, three times a striker. That's what he's singing. Let your soul glow. There you go. There you go. I cannot remember what it was, but I don't know. We'll see. It was interesting. Walter Mate, I think, truthfully, the reason why I showed it, though, I think Walter Mate secretly wants to be a Liverpool player. I think that he is happy to be obviously happy to be a Newcastle player, but I think that he would go over the moon to become a Liverpool player. It's why I say put in a little bit of a. I've seen people, Newcastle being like, "Oh yeah, give us 70 million, you can have him." Let's not go crazy, but throw a cheeky little 50 million or 40 million pound bid for the player. Bring him to Liverpool as a rotational striker for us. So we'd have Ekitike, Walter Made, obviously Isak. We'd have Jaden Dans off the bench. That I can live with that. That is something I'm going to look into. Maybe I'll do the little test run in my Football Manager and tell you how it works out. How about that? I know, unfortunately, Newcastle is not going to go easy on it, but all right, people. All night long. Yeah, that's right. That's what it is. Yeah. That's the song he's got.
Hugo enjoying a bit of James Brown. I was listening to Get Up off of that thing earlier. I love that one.
Mm-hmm.
It's good when you put it on nice and loud as well. I'm coming. You could do like a montage of Hugo bearing down on goal with that. I'm coming.
Yeah.
Sticking it in the net, like. He's got a good montage so far, Hugo. He's had some nice bits, like some goals, some assists, some just general touches.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'll make sure I didn't. Oops, I didn't do that. That sucks. I'm sure if I put this in, it is going to. If I put in Lionel Richie in a if I put it in there, it's going to give me nothing but Lionel Richie songs for the next 3 months. But it's okay. It's all right. I know I'm pretty sure that's a Lionel Richie song. Or maybe I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe I'm thinking of Billy Ocean. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
I really liked Billy Ocean. The one I liked was Going Gets Tough because of Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
And Catherine, what's her name? What made me laugh was like they looked dead into it, throwing the punches on stage. Yeah,
Romancing the Stone.
Romancing Stone, that's the one. Yeah, but Michael Douglas looked well into it in his white suit, throwing these punches. When the going gets tough,
get going. There you go. Well, that's what it's like to be a Liverpool fan right now. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. So look at that way. It's a good segue.
Oh, mate, she did not put on weight, that woman from that. Can't remember her surname. Catherine. Joan Hart or something she's called in it, or some shit. Joan Wilding or Joan Hart.
Joan Wilder. It's Joan Wilder.
Joan Wilder.
Yeah.
Remember the fella in the second one who's like he walks on fire and that, and he's like the savior.
Oh no, I was thinking of the guy he played in The Three Amigos, but he also played in Romancing the Stone too. He said, "Are you John Wilder?" And I was like, "He's like John Wilder."
Danny DeVito was always funny, just his physical presence and that. Although Twins was rubbish. Twins was an abomination on just about every conceivable level. But I do like Danny DeVito otherwise.
Yeah. All right, people. I'm going to give you this bit of Red Zen and why I think of it as being Red Zen is because so often, and especially as of late, I've heard some really, really nonsense be spoken on this individual. He is absolutely a legend, in my opinion. Someone that I think at times gets it's almost like the criticism I don't understand at all. Pretty much is the point. But I just wanted to show you this. Remember this moment in time?
Sure
Remember
do.
that moment in time? Premier League, that was saying the last 2 seasons, Premier League since 2018. Remember that time people put like a real question on this guy's ability to coach, and it was overblown, and I understand he should have won more. Not saying he couldn't have won more. Certainly he could have. But this guy was an absolute incredible, incredible coach. One I think that unfortunately doesn't get at times the proper appreciation. And why I bring this up is because for a brief moment, 190 points is what he had accumulated with only 4 losses. That is a phenomenal, phenomenal feat.
Mad, that, isn't it?
Mad. You have to think about that. 190 points, 4 defeats. You can see the other teams that have done who were during the same period. 13 defeats, 19 defeats for Chelsea, 24 for Spurs, 18 for United.
Do you remember when Arteta got a bit twitchy last season and started blabbering on about the injuries at inappropriate times when that was like not the question he was being asked? That'll probably happen again where he'll start saying random weird stuff like because like, it's stressing him out so much, the title race.
Yeah.
He really did lose the thread a bit at the end of last season. I was worried for the man's sanity. Like, what's he on about now?
Mm-hmm. It's a wild feat. And why I say it that way is 190 points, 4 losses. Do you ever think something like this will ever be witnessed again?
In a way, no. That's a one-off, that, mate.
During that, I mean, like, people ask me about, like, moments in my Liverpool, like, run of, being a fan, supporter, and the likes. There are portions of my existence with this team that have been nothing but spectacular. And if you could say Shangri-La, during that era right there was a Shangri-La moment where you woke up knowing that the chances are your team was coming home with a W. And that is incredibly, incredibly amazing.
No, it was our Shangri-La for a while, wasn't it? Like, it was our home. That's what we were, like. It was great.
I'm saying it like this. Please, please, please do not allow people to put shame on our legendary coach.
He was the man, wasn't he? It's just like, nobody could do what he done for us, like the way he done it. Pep wouldn't have done it because Pep wouldn't have had all that money. And I don't see anyone else in the room that would have done it. Like, he was a one-off, wasn't he? He was a one-off bloke, one-off manager. Yeah. And it was a pleasure, wasn't it? The pleasure was all ours having him. I had the fist pumps, man. I missed the fist pumps. I wish Arne would get it on the go sometimes. when we get like a dead vital win. I thought maybe the Burnley one because it was away, and we thought you might run over and give it just for a laugh, like maybe give it 1-2 fist pumps. We'll see. Anyway,
No.
probably he's well aware. Oh, Jurgen used to do this, so he probably thinks people would be like, maybe not.
I think,
but I wouldn't
yeah.
get that buzz off it big time. I'd laugh my head off if Arnie started with the fist pumps. Be legendary stuff.
Legend. Yeah, never let those people out there belittle our great legendary coach, Jurgen Klopp, enjoying his retirement. We would love to see you on the sidelines again for us, of course, but we also respect you living your life and enjoying it to the fullest, because that's what he is doing right now. And more props and praises to Jurgen Klopp. So I just wanted to point that out, this little moment of Red Zen there. Look, tomorrow we will I will do a if there's really not much news, because there really hasn't been that much news lately that's been churning out. I will just do my preview for the Sunday's matchup tomorrow, so I have enough time. I think I thought the Beijing Reds show was supposed to be last weekend, but I think it's this weekend. I think, who knows? I don't know if it's this weekend or not. But I try to keep an eye out for their Beijing Red Line show. It's an enjoyable show. But all the same, this show hopefully will be an enjoyable one tomorrow. I hope that you had an enjoyable time today. Shout out to all the legends, the OGs in the chat that joined us. Of course, shout out to the original OG, Mr. Lee.
Right,
Yeah, okay.
Enjoyed it.
Okay.
Not long to go now till the first game.
I almost called you Stanley. That's how much like that's in my mind.
Stanley. Well, I was massively into Spider-Man when I was a kid. And that's
There
like,
you go.
his name's something else in it, but he shortened it. His name is Stan, and there is Lee at the beginning of his surname. But like, yeah, I know it sounds like you're saying Stanley, doesn't it? There's a road by me in Liverpool, like Stanley Road, it leads you into town.
Stanley, or like Stanley Cup, the Stanley Cup or something like that.
Yeah.
But people, we are going to let you enjoy the rest of your evening. We wish you all the best, and like I said, hopefully I'll have some updates with this new project that we're going to be trying to embark on. What?
No, I was talking to myself.
Oh, okay. And until then, Lee, you want to say peace out?
Yeah, cheers, everyone. See you again soon. See you tomorrow.
Yeah,
not long now until we play again. So yeah, see you again.
Yeah, exactly. Hello, is it me you're looking for? There you go. We'll see you tomorrow. All right, people. Take care. Peace out. And as always, up the Reds.